This is the short story of my life. My parents met in 1984, and 3 years later they were married. After a year of marriage, this student was born. My mother's name is Gladys, and my father's is Reinaldo, and they decided to call me Zulma. It is the name of a Llanera song of the time. We are from the department of Meta, the getaway city of the Eastern Plains. I had a simple and quiet childhood. When I was 4 years old, I asked for a little brother as a gift for my next birthday. I already had my new brother in my arms. Ivan Farid, his middle name in honor of a Colombian footballer. He grew like any child, although there was no shortage of fights between brothers. Years later, violence began knocking on our door. My parents were merchants and were escorted and threatened with all out groups until the situation was unstable, and in the last threats was the kidnapping of the children or ending the life of my father. So we had to live off the sea for years. We were in another city where we called final stay for a couple of years. My brother and I were able to study, although my brother had a harder time adapting to those changes. He lost several years of elementary and secondary school. It was difficult for me, but I got ahead with my studies and managed to graduate from high school. With the passing of the years, my brother, as we become adults, and my parents, a little bit older, we continued to look for opportunities, working and trying to study a professional career. First, I chose a career in business administration. I worked at different companies. Eh, for the last job, a few years ago, an assistant. I worked an assistant in a trading company of auto parts, but the relationship with my boss was not the best. We lived we lived with a lot of stress and pressure that we had in the area of collection of portfolios was quite a responsibility to the company and the customers. Around the same time, I talked an old friend from high school again, and so we risked starting a relationship. But at the same time, it was different because he had um, to leave the country and go to Sweden. The relationship was continued at distance. It was not easy, but it's a good to look back and see everything we have been able to overcome. After a while, our relationship were going on because of the distance. Then my boyfriend Hugo told me to go live in her to Sweden. To go live with him there to Sweden. At first, I hesitated because I already had my life somehow organized in Colombia, but in the end, I took a chance. I went to live in Stockholm. I was a drastic change of language because they speak Swedish or English, of culture because Swedes are very organized. There are many good times to learn from them. But all this has been a great experience. That is why I was inclined to study LILEI professional career. After a while, I have to return to Colombia to do some errands. They went back to Sweden last year, and again I returned to Colombia to wait for some documents, and I will travel to the middle of this year. For our joy, and when you come back to Colombia with my fiance, we learned that we were going to have a baby. We don't think uh, that was a reality since I seem complicated. But with that's another story. Uh, Thank you for joining me to see the story of my life. See you soon.